Now, to go to your question straight away, yes, it's true that we do not have adequate women in the higher judiciary. But why is that so? First and foremost, we do not have as many people from the marginalized sections. Why is that so? First and foremost, there are structural barriers at the very point of entry into the legal profession. You have the common law aptitude test, which defines who will get into law school, the prized law schools, for instance. Most of those tests are conducted in English. And therefore, they are basically urban-centric, and they privilege the already privileged in our society. So, right at the threshold, the standards or the parameters which we are laying down for entry into the legal profession are in that sense warped, or they are loaded against those who do not have access to a good English-based education. Once people do enter the profession, you have barriers all over again. For instance, entry into seniors' chambers, chambers of senior counsel, doesn't follow again merit. It's an old boys club. It's informal networks which define who will gain admission to seniors' chambers. These are some of the hard facts. Coming straight to the judiciary now, I must tell you something which is very heartening, and which is that in the recruitment to the district judiciary across India, more women are being recruited than men. If you look at the national law schools, most of them, you find that more young women are entering into the entry classes than men. In the district judiciary, this is very heartening in states like Rajasthan or Uttar Pradesh or Maharashtra. For instance, in Maharashtra, over 70 out of 120 recruits were women recently. The same figures are replicating all over the country, which really means that if you open up a level playing field for women, they are capable of gaining entry into the best institutions of governance. But we need to create that level playing field for women. Very often, you find, for instance, when women are recruited into law firms or into seniors' chambers, you find that there is a reluctance to employ women because there's a perception that, well, women have to bear an unduly large part of the share of child rearing, familial responsibilities or societal responsibilities. That is something, therefore, mindsets have to change. So far as the higher judiciary, Utkarsh, is concerned, we can choose from the available pool of talent. For the Supreme Court, broadly speaking, unless you choose people from the bar, which we have been doing, and we had Justice Indu Malhotra, for instance, who was a member of the bar who was chosen straight for the Supreme Court. Our available pool of talent is the High Court judges. So unless we start by increasing the inflow of marginalized groups, including women, at the lowest level, we're not going to have a change for the future. But change, believe me, there is taking place all across India. Because when we find today that in the district judiciary across India, in states where women's education is gaining ground, as I said, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, of course the southern states, you will find in the next 10 years that these women are occupying positions of responsibility, as we have, women officers from the armed forces here who are occupying important positions of responsibility. So when you open up the space, you will find these people accepting and achieving better positions of responsibility.
So you mentioned women officers, and I'm sure that it's by virtue of your orders, your judgment in the Supreme Court that these women officers, they got their due. Most of them are now holding the command positions.